Yerp. What's going on, team? What's going on, team? Welcome to this weekend's weekly market breakdown. Gonna give everybody another 5 minutes to join. 11:05, we will get started. Let's turn on the pairs that we're going to be going over. The ones with the red flag next to their name are the ones that we're going to be going over in order from the top to the bottom, starting off with AUDUSD, finishing off with USOIL. Again, just going to give everybody another couple minutes to join, and then we will get started. Usually do these sessions on Sunday, but I was itching to get on the chart, so we'll do it today. We'll get everything ready for this week. Talk about the pairs that we'll be looking at, the pairs that we're just going to skip over. We'll talk about everything. We'll break everything down. It should be about like a 45-minute session, more or less. Again, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Any specific pairs you want me to go over, let me know, whether or not they're on our list. Any entries you guys took this week that you want me to talk about, go over, let me know as well. Whether they're winners or losers, doesn't matter. Losers are better to go over. What the fuck? Again, just giving everybody another 3 minutes to join. I posted in the Discord. Yes, I did. Let me see if I have any questions in Discord. I think we're good. For everybody who was asking on Thursday, I believe it was, or Friday morning, I think it was Thursday. I ended up posting the bearish and bullish engulfing candles in the Discord. Make sure you guys have that in your notes. Draw it down. Have it in front of you so you guys know what it is. Because that last session that we talked about, there's a lot of people who are confused about it. Another couple seconds and then we will get started, team. That was a good stretch, man. Also, for the people who are watching the recording, if you have any questions, feel free to leave the questions in the comment section. If you don't want to leave it in the comment section, you could always message me on Discord. You could join our Discord server as well. Everything is completely free, so I'm gonna post that now in the chat for you guys. Again, any questions about any chart before we get started, let me know. I'll give you guys another minute. Any chart at all, just let me know. If not, we'll get started. We'll talk about these pairs. We'll update them. We'll go over the daily time frame, talk about where we're at, what we're looking for, update our daily highs and daily lows if needed. We'll update our 4-hour time frame, do the same thing, 4-hour highs, 4-hour lows, see if there's any continuations going into this new trading week. Same thing on the 30-minute, 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows, any continuations to start the week, and then we'll go on from there. Any questions at all, let me know. We'll start in a few seconds. Looks like you guys are good, alright. No questions. What's good, Kendall? Good morning, my brother. I sent you like the first couple pages. I don't know if you saw them. I can't scan them, bro. I don't have a scanner here at the new house. I have to go back down to Miami and go to my parents' house and scan it. But whenever if E doesn't send it to me, again, you know, at this point, I'll have to call him today, see what's goody. But worst case scenario, I'll take a trip down. I'll scan them for you. Yeah, I know it's not for you. Should be for you though. There's a lot of information in there that I'm sure we haven't talked about. Good to go over, read it over, take notes on it. You know, get everything sharpened up and shit. But I'll send you the rest. I'll send you the rest after the session. What was the last page? 24, right? Alright guys, let's get started. So AU, we know that we are in a market makers pattern downtrend. Right, we're in level 3. We got the break of the second zone of consolidation where price gave us the lower low. We're looking for a lower high to be set. So at this point, price had already reached our first point of interest as to where we think our first lower high is going to be set, which is the 800 EMA. Again, this is still a pair. I'm expecting it to go a little bit higher. Right, I am expecting it to at least fill this gap up that's at the top of the market, which is on the 30-minute time frame, to give us a lower high here and then start the downtrend. But once we go down to the 4-hour time frame, right, we know that we were trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Price then gave us a lower low change of character. So at this point, if price decides to give us a set lower high on the 4-hour time frame and gives us a break of structure after the change of character, then we know that this is where the set lower high is going to be, and this is where we'll start looking to take trades going back down to the bottom, which is at our previous peak low, which we'll go to the daily time frame and see a little bit better, right? To our previous peak low down here to complete that level 3 drop back down to the bottom. Right, so on AU we still have a little bit more to go. We don't have any continuations. Last week we had a week of drop. This week we finished on a week of rise, so we have no continuations. At this point we don't have any engulfing candles here on the daily. We have nothing on the 4-hour. On the 1-hour time frame, We have no engulfing candles here either. So just got to be patient. Once we start seeing price trending down, that's when we'll start looking to take these trades. Right, the 30-minute will also tell us a lot as well. On the 30-minute, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. So what I also want to keep an eye on, before I could take a trade going short, especially on the 30-minute time frame, I need to start seeing lower lows and lower highs on the 30-minute structure. And again, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. So just have to be patient with AU. This is a pair that, again, we still have a little bit more to go. Need to see price start downtrending before I could start looking for these sell positions going back down to the bottom. And again, guys, of course, if you have any questions, if there's something that's not making sense, just let me know and we'll talk about it. For Friday, price just moved sideways, right? Gave us a no net. Price didn't go up, it didn't go down, it just moved sideways. For AUDCAD, we are in A1, the first zone of consolidation on an overall downtrend, right? We have push 1, first zone of consolidation, and we're looking for the break below our zone of consolidation to continue that downtrend push. Right now, on a lower time frame, if we go down to the 4-hour, we go down to the 30-minute, what is price doing? We're moving sideways, where price is rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, and price on a lower time frame, right? If we go down to the 30-minute, before we do that, let's update what price did for last week, right? We had a weaker drop last week. This week, price gave us another weaker rise. So again, price just moving sideways. There's no continuations. And on the 30-minute time frame, what did price do all week until Thursday and Friday? Price was consolidating, gave us the break, gave us a retest, gave us another push to the top side, right? And then Friday is very close to being a no net. Again, price could always open with a gap in the market. We're only 6 pips away, probably a little bit less, right? 5 pips from it being a no net. So at this moment, I'm not going to update this. I'm going to wait till the market opens on Sunday. Once the market opens and we have that first 30-minute candle print, we'll know if this is a day of rise where price pushed up or if price finished on a no net. So we're going to keep this one just like this. Looking at the structure on the 30-minute time frame, right? This is, we talked about this last week. I don't like how I have this marked up, right? Because we could see price higher high, higher low, higher high. Price hasn't broken these highs and price hasn't broken these lows. This is all internal structure. I don't like how I have this marked, and I don't know why. I should have updated this last week when I first saw it, right? So higher high, higher low, higher high. We're trading between still this higher low over here, right? All of this here is just internal structure. None of this was really significant pullback. So that's definitely on me whenever I mark this up. So to not confuse anybody, I'll just go ahead and delete all of this. All of this here, again, everything here is just internal structure. Looking at, going back to the left side, right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, right? Price came back down again to give us another inducement of the low. Then gave us high, low, high. If anything, we could have said that this is where the change of character happened, right? And we'll still be trading between the same, right? If we were to mark it this way, where we have high, higher low, higher high, price gave us a push down to the bottom, lower low, then price pushed back up again and gave us a higher high. And we can see that price hasn't broken these lows, right? Price hasn't broken these highs, so we're still trading between this higher high over here and these higher lows, right? This is what makes the most sense. I'm not sure why I marked it up the other way, but I did see this last week, I think like on Tuesday, and I'm like, yeah, I have to update this. So we'll do that now. Right, and as you can see, price hasn't reached these lows. We still have these highs. Still got to be patient with AUDCAD. Very similar to AUDUSD, right? The only difference is we're in the first zone of consolidation, right? And we're still looking for price to give us these pushes back down to the bottom to at least the previous peak low, which was down here. So once AU starts, or AUDCAD starts moving, then we'll start moving. Right, I got any continuations? Really nothing. We'll have to be patient with AUDCAD, and we'll update this on Sunday when the market opens. For Euro AUD, daily time frame, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. Right, we had the double bottom, we had push 1, the first zone of consolidation, push 2, the second zone of consolidation, and then we have push number 3, and again we're expecting price to at least reach these highs up here. Right, the daily high and daily lows are the same. We're still trading between this higher low up here, this higher high up here, and again everything is color coordinated for you guys who are new here. We have our daily lows and daily highs are gray, 4-hour highs and 4-hour lows are blue, 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows are the red boxes. On the 4-hour time frame, again we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave us a higher low, and we can see that price here is just moving sideways. Where price is rejecting these highs, these lows, price is just moving sideways. We had a week of no net last week. This week, again, price is very close, so I'm not going to update this just yet. But we can see that price was moving sideways. So on Sunday when the market opens, that first 4-hour candle, we'll know what to mark this as. We'll just have to wait until that market opens. Again, we're very close. This is only 7 pips from being a no net, so we'll be patient with this one. Then on the 30-minute time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came up, gave us another higher high, right? And then we were trading between this low and this high. So real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and delete some of these. Alright, hold on. Let's clean this up a little bit. Right, did price give us a clean break of these highs? Not exactly. Right, I don't like the fact that the price that would have given us a clean break doesn't have a bottom wick. So for me right now, this is still a very weak break of the highs. Right, and that's why I'm like kind of still iffy about even marking this up as higher high, higher low, higher high. Right, this is just a big zone of consolidation on the 30-minute time frame. So for now, I'm gonna keep this updated just like this. I'm not gonna change it. If price decides to break these lows, then perfect. Right, we know price is just gonna give us a steeper pullback back down to the bottom. Right, and right now we have 2 days of counter drop. Again, price is moving against the overall trend. The overall trend is in an uptrend once again on EA. And we're just waiting for price to really break these highs to then continue that push back to the top side. So just have to wait a little bit longer on EA to take a better position. Right? If price decides to give us an inducement of these lows the same way that it did on Wednesday, then perfect. Right? Gave us the inducement, gave us higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame, gave us a beautiful trade back to the top side. Alright, so we'll be patient with EA. Just rinse and repeat, guys. It's the same charts, same move. The market makers are going to move the same exact way every single time. Right? It's about waiting for your entry opportunity to come into the charts and then take them. Again, any questions, let me know. EURCAD, this is a pair in previous peak high territory, so this is a pair that I'm no longer looking to take a trade on. We'll go ahead and update it as needed. We'll skip it and then go on to the next one. I'm just going to keep this updated. Have another week of rise. And then on the 30-minute, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price hasn't broken these lows. Price hasn't broken these highs. Everything that you see between this high and this low is just internal structure. Right? 5-minute structure, 1-minute structure, not 30-minute. We had 2 days of rise. On the 3rd day, price gave us that 3rd day push to the top side, gave us a new high, and ended up going down. Since we're in peak high, we're still going to mark this as a rise drop, but again, very low probability for price to give us that 4th day push to the top side just because we're in peak high territory. Right, we already reached our daily highs, we're about to reach our 4-hour highs, we're at the 30-minute highs. Gonna be patient with EURCAD. Euro USD. Daily time frame. We know that we are in level 2 to the top side. Right, we're in level 2 on an uptrend. We had push 1, first zone of consolidation, push 2, second zone of consolidation, push number 3. Then price gave us the first push to the top side, the first zone of consolidation, right, V1. Then we had the break to start the level 2 push, higher high, higher low, and we're at a higher high. This is still a pair that I am expecting price to go a little bit steeper, very similar to AU, just opposite. Right, AU's on a downtrend, EU's on an uptrend, but same parameters. Right, we have a 30-minute gap at these lows. We know that in level 2, we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. So I am expecting the pullback on EU to just be a little bit steeper. Right, if price could give us a pullback into these areas, not only to fill that 30-minute gap, but to also bounce off the 200 EMA, that's exactly what I would want to see. That would be a picture-perfect trade and a picture-perfect point of interest to start looking to take a trade, to then continue back up to the top side to create another higher high. Right, higher high, higher low, higher high. I'll be expecting price to give us a pullback here to give us another higher low. And this is where we'll start looking for those higher highs and higher lows on the internal time frame to continue the push back to the top side. Right? If price doesn't give us this pullback down to the bottom, that's okay. Right? This is where the internal structure is really going to tell us if price is ready to push back to the top side. Right? And if we go down to the 4-hour, again, same daily high and daily low as the 4-hour high and 4-hour low. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Expecting price to give us a steeper pullback, but let's see what price is doing. Right, last week it gave us a weaker drop. This week we got a weaker rise. Perfect. Right, on the lower time frame, we could also see that price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low. It gave us the change of character, higher high, higher low, and it gave us the break of structure, higher high. Now, could this be the area where price is going to just completely turn around and start that push back to the top side? It could be. 100% it could be. Right? This is where I would want to start looking for my entry criterias. Right? Whether it's the EMA bounces, the exhaustion candles at the lows, the engulfing candles. I need to see another set of confirmations before I take the trade. And price is moving exactly how it needs to. That's the thing I like about EU. EU will always move exactly how it needs to. It always respects the rules. Right? After 3 days of rise that we had, right, on the 3rd day was on Thursday. Right? After 3 days, we know the market's either going to move sideways or go down. And we ended up going down for EU. Now I want to look at these other time frames real quick. Do we have any engulfing candles? Nothing on the daily, nothing on the 4-hour. On the 1-hour, we have a nice little engulfing candle here that price tapped into. Right? It tapped into it for a few hours. Right? It took about 4 hours for price to start pushing up. Right? But we already knew. Alright, let's mark this up because we talked about this on Thursday too. We already knew that these entries here were low probability. Right? And the reason why is because, again, we already had the 3 days. And after 3 days, I'm not expecting price to continue the push and give us more pushes to the top side. So we knew that this entry zone here that we had on the 1-hour time frame was very low probability. And if you took the trade and you were in profit, perfect. But price didn't give you a new high. Price didn't even hit STP for the day. Right? STP was 54 pips and we ended up doing 49. Right? So if you took this trade thinking that price was going to go back up and give you another 54 pips to the top side, you were out of luck. Right? So it's just understanding, like, okay, yes, even though we have an engulfing candle, even though we have STP, right? What happened before all of that? Price already gave you 3 days. It gave you those 3 days to the top side. What do you think price is going to do? Is it going to just continue? No. We already know the rules. After 3 days, the market's either going to move sideways or go down. Right? And that's exactly what price did. I believe we had to update this too, right? There was oh no, we didn't. We're good. This did end up on a third day. There was another pair that we had to update because it finished on a rise no net, but it wasn't this one. So just understanding those key differences with continuation trades and which ones are high probability and low probability is the biggest reason why we decided to stay away from this trade on Friday, right? And again, if we would have taken the trade, we would have been in profit. And if you didn't take profit up here at these highs, price went right back down to your break even, right? Just holding trades, you know, just praying that price is going to go up. And again, every entry criteria that you have, right? And this is, I'm going to say this, and again, I don't really like speaking about other traders and their trading strategies, but so I'm not even going to name drop any specific entry models. Everything you guys see online, right? And I'll just give you the easiest one that everybody should know: double bottoms and double tops, right? There's a double bottom here. How many traders you think took this trade? Oh, double bottom, the neckline was broken, we're looking for a retest to go back to the top side, right? How many traders you think took this trade? There's a lot of them. If you go on social media right now, you'll see that a lot of people either took L's on EU or they complained that, oh, price went back to break even. Understanding that every entry model that you guys see online on social media, they do work, right? Double bottoms work, double tops work, turtle soup, ICT, SMC, right? All these trading styles work. The problem is that that's what they are. They're just entry criterias. They're not really teaching you market structure. With that being said, there's a huge reason why not every entry works. It's not because you're playing a game of probability, right? It's not because, oh, the stock market, you're gambling and you're gonna get lucky. No, there's rules to the game. And if you don't know the rules, that's what you're gonna think. You're gonna think it's just gambling. But it's not, right? If you already understood, okay, we already have a previous 3 days of rise. Okay, I see my entry criteria, which is a double bottom, right? I'll just give you guys the example of the double bottoms the same way that I gave you the example of the 1 hour engulfing candle. I see my entry model. However, what happened before the entry model was given? Okay, we already had a previous 3-day push to the top side, so I already know that this entry going into the 4th day push is going to be low probability. And that's where your edge is going to be at. Understanding that, okay, after 3 days, we already know the market's going to either move sideways or go down. Why would you put yourself in a situation to get into this trade? Just because you saw your entry model? That's where a lot of people go wrong. Oh, I see my entry, I'm going to get in. Okay, but what happened before that? What makes this entry low probability versus high probability? Or vice versa? What makes this entry high probability versus low probability? Right? So once you see that on the charts, it makes trading so much easier and a lot less stress-free, because you no longer are going to get into a trade and have to babysit it and have to be praying to the angels and the gods that please let me be in profit. Like, no. If you already know the rules to the game, why would you do something that's going against it? Instead of understanding like, okay, these are the rules, I have to follow the rules, and if I follow the rules, I'm going to be in profit 99% of the time. That's really all that it is. So already understanding that on Friday, once we got on the charts, we already knew that this was going to be a low probability entry. We don't even have to keep an eye on the chart. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you look at your charts. This is why I do my sessions before the market, right? Before I go onto my live trading sessions. Because at 7 p.m. is when I start. Already at 8 p.m., 8:30, once I finish the session, I already know what pairs I'm going to be looking at, and I already know which pairs I'm just going to let go. And it makes trading so much easier. That's why you guys see I have a lot of people always ask me, yo, you look at so many pairs. This is nothing for me. When I first started trading, when I first started learning how to trade, I was looking at over 20 pairs. It was like, I think it was like 32 different pairs. But the problem is that I'm not looking to take trades on 32 different pairs. what I'm doing is what you guys see right now. Okay, we'll break down every single pair. Which one looks the best? And let's say that out of the 30 pairs, there's only 5 of them that look good. Perfect. Then when I wake up in the morning and I start looking to take trades, I go and I only look at those 5 different pairs. And by the time you wake up in the morning, right, depends what session you trade. I don't trade Asia or London session. I trade the NYC session. I get on my charts at 6 a.m. If I wake up at 6 a.m. and the next thing I look at is the ADR and the STP, if those specific pairs already hit the ADR for the day, if those specific pairs already hit STP for the day, then that's it. There's no more left on the table for us. Right? For example, EU is a pair that moves 97 pips on average on a day-to-day basis. Right? I do STP. I don't do the whole 97. What's STP? Is 33% of 97. So you would do 97 pips minus 33%. That'll give you 54. Right? Why do you do the 33%? Well, there's 3 major sessions. You have Asia session, you have London session, you have New York session. 33 times 3 gives you the average of 100. Right? This will tell you exactly how many pips a specific pair is going to be giving you on a day-to-day basis. Now, is there days that STP gets hit and it does more than STP? Of course, because it's just an average. Is there more days than others that STP gets hit and then price completely turns back around and goes back down, or vice versa, it goes back up? Absolutely. And we saw that with EA. On the day before we took our trade, right, we took our trade on Wednesday. I'll give you guys the example. Damn, did I calculate STP? I don't have it here. All good. We'll just do the calculation here. On Tuesday, when price gave you the inducement to the lows, it went right back to the top side. How many pips did it give us to the top side? Right? On the day, it gave us 77 pips. STP for this day, let's do the calculation. Again, the ADR changes on a day-to-day basis as well. So 113, so we'll just do it with the 113 number, minus 33%, right? It's 75 pips. Right, so how would I take this trade? Let's say that you took this trade after the inducement, whatever, you took it, boom. So now you took the trade, you're going long. You put your STP at 75 pips. Right? As soon as those 75 pips were hit, what did price do? Came back down. It happens 99% of the time. This is why I look at STP. Right? I don't make believe where my take profit's going to be at. If STP's already hit, that's it. I'm cashing out. Every single time. This trade, right? Oh, look, price continued to push. You could have just held it. Yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I'm not here to guess. I'm here to play the game that I know what the market is going to give me every single time, which is STP. We calculate STP, right? For this day, STP was probably 74 pips, whatever the case is. As soon as STP is hit, that's it. I'm out of the trade. I'm out of the trade. I don't need to catch more. I don't need to catch more than this. I'm good with this every single time. Right? So you're just putting yourself in an advantage to understand, okay, why are you placing your take profit where you're placing it? Right? It's not a psychology game. It's not a, oh, I believe that price is going to go up 1,000,000 pips. No, like the market, this is not an indicator that I created. This is an indicator that's been on the charts for years and years. The ADR, the average daily range, this isn't a make-believe number. This is a tool that the market gives you. The market has this. The problem is that people want to make their charts look flashy and, oh, I'm going to catch 1,000,000 pips today. Right? It's just make-believe numbers. So we'll move on from that. Yeah, please, market makers, please give me 1,000,000 pips. Like it's crazy. I don't even remember what pair we ended up on. We did EA. Did we do ECAD? I don't remember, guys. We'll start off with ECAD again. ECAD is a pair that's, I think we did ECAD, no? ECAD is on PCAD territory. Yeah, we updated this already. Okay. And then on the 30-minute, we're still making higher high, higher low. Gave us a rise drop. Perfect. But we're in PCAD territory, so this pair is not a pair that I'm going to be looking at. We did EU already. Yeah, we talked about this, right? Change of character, break of structure already gave us a 3 days, so we already knew that these entries here were very low probability. and it went down. And again, this is a pair that I am still expecting a steeper pullback, but we will keep an eye on this, right? We'll definitely keep an eye on this pair. I was looking to see if there was any engulfing candles on EU. Let's see, nothing on the daily time frame, nothing on the 4-hour. I do like the crosses. Like, that's another thing, right? The crosses, the EMAs, tell us a completely different story. Like on the 4-hour, this looks perfect to continue to look for a trade back to the top side. But the daily time frame tells me something completely different. The daily time frame does not look like price wants to continue the push to the top side, especially after printing this exhaustion candle here on Thursday, right? But again, the 4-hour doesn't look that way. The 4-hour looks completely different. The 1-hour time frame, yeah, we have this engulfing, but that's already a low probability trade because price had already tapped into it multiple times beforehand. Take a sip of water, sorry guys. Again, any questions about anything that I just talked about, let me know. And then nothing on the 15, I'm not going to go lower than that. All right, so we just got to be patient with EU. Once EU starts moving, then we move. Right? We can't move before the market. We got to move after the market. Once the market shows us what it wants to do, that's when we'll start trading it. GA, very similar to EA. We're in peak high territory, so we're just going to keep this updated real quick. You can see that price is just moving sideways in peak high territory, which happens, right? In peak highs and peak lows, there's two things that are going to happen. Either sideways movement, or the markets are going to trap you. That's the only two things that happens in peak highs and peak lows. We had a week of rise last week. This week, price gave us a second push to the top side. Could this be a nice little third week push to the top side? It definitely could be. Right, and I like the fact that we're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation as well. Let's see if there's anything else here. Any engulfing candles on the 4-hour? Yes, we do. Right, 1, 2, 3. Green candle has a bottom wick. Perfect. Right, it's a very big zone. Right, so I wouldn't be taking this trade, you know, on the retest and then putting my stop loss at 90 pips. That's crazy. Right, so at least we know that on the 4-hour time frame, we have a point of interest as to where we could expect price to give us a pullback to. Then on the 30-minute time frame, we had a day of rise on Thursday, sorry, and then on Friday, price is very close to being a no net. Again, we're only 5 pips from it to being a no net, so we'll update this when the market opens. Right, and even when we're looking at 30-minute structure, the reason this is also low probability, right? This is where we start looking at the charts. What is price doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Could this be a lower high to continue that downtrend push back down to the lower low? Absolutely. So we already know that this 4-hour engulfing candle, right, this third week high that we have for this upcoming week, this is all low probability. If price was giving us higher highs and higher lows, we would have been having a different conversation. So this is how I differentiate between high probability and low probability. The fact that price is still downtrending, why would I take a buy position? Just think about it. Price is literally giving you lower low, lower high, lower low. Gave you a lower high here. Price didn't break these lows, price didn't break these highs. Price was just giving us internal pullbacks to the top side. Why would I take a buy position at a lower high? See what I'm saying? I could teach you these, I could teach you every entry criteria that we know. I could teach you all of that. But if I don't teach you market structure, right, how can I tell you how to differentiate between a high probability trade versus a low probability trade? It's the same thing. Right, all the traders who are looking at this as this is a double bottom, we got the break of the neckline. Right, just look at how the market makers are trapping every single trader. Doesn't matter what strategy you're trading. If you're trading just simple double bottoms and double tops, if you're trading candlestick analysis, if you're trading order blocks or OBs, right, the market is going to give you those entries every single time. Every single time. So what's going to be the factor, right, the decision maker of whether or not this is going to be a high probability trade versus a low probability trade? And that's market structure. If you cannot read market structure, which is again the number one thing you have to learn in trading before you even start looking for entries, is market structure. Because again, it's super simple. I could teach you double bottoms, I could teach you double tops, I could teach you breakout trades, I could teach you order blocks, fucking engulfing candles, all this stuff that you see online. That's easy. What's not easy is looking at market structure. The fact that we know price is still giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Why would I take a buy position when price is downtrending? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I hope that's making sense to you guys. Because I think that makes perfect sense. But to a lot of people, this is gibberish. Why would I take a buy position when price is making lower lows and lower highs? Please, somebody give me the answer in the chat. Because I really don't know. That's still something I'm trying to figure out. And this isn't a blow to just one person. No, this is in general. There's thousands and thousands of traders that I see on a day-to-day basis who are just taking positions just to take them because, oh, there's a double bottom, I'm gonna take it. It's like, brother, do you not see that the market is downtrending? Why would you get in that position? Right? That's when that's when trading really turns into gambling. That's when trading turns into probabilities. When you get into a trade just because you feel it. Because you woke up today, you prayed and you asked God, please, I want to be profitable today. Right? That's gambling. That's 50-50. When you read the market and you see, alright, we're in lower low and lower high. Why would I take a buy position at a lower high? Why? The market moves lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You just took a buy position at a lower high. What do you think the market is going to do? Think the market saw that you got into the trade and say, hey, you know what, John? You got into this trade this time, I got you. We'll be in profit just for you. It doesn't work that way. Right? You put yourself in a situation to get into a trade that's 50%. Meaning it might go up. Right? It might go up. But it also might go down. So why would you put yourself in a situation where you have to gamble your money? Now, if that's what you're trying to do, then cool. You know, by all means, continue to do your thing. But if you're trying to be a successful trader, if this is a career choice that you're trying to really do, you have to get away from trading the 50%. You have to get away from trading the low probability trades. Mr. Bashir, hope you have a good weekend, my brother. So again, if you have any questions about anything that we talk about, anything that's not making sense, let me know. If not, we're going to cruise through this. Again, every single pair is traded the exact same way. The only difference is the area that we're trading in and whether or not it's in an uptrend or in a downtrend. It is the exact same thing. Rinse and repeat every single day. GCAD, we're at an uptrend. Right, we had push 1, first zone of consolidation, V1. Level 2 on an uptrend, V2, second zone of consolidation. And now we're in level 3. Right, we know that we're still on an uptrend. We're still making higher high, higher low, and higher high. Price came down, gave us a higher low, but failed to give us a new higher high up here. Right? Because price failed to give us this new higher high, we weren't really expecting just a simple pullback, higher low to continue into a higher high. No. What I'm looking for is now, okay, we know that we're getting into a higher low area. Now what I want to see before I take a trade on the lower time frames or on the 4-hour time frame, I need to see continuations. Right? I need to see the change of character break of structure happen on the lower time frames. The 4-hour time frame looks good, right? It's still higher high, higher low. On the 4-hour time frame, it gave us a higher high. Gave us a push down to the bottom into the higher low. And now at the higher low, now that we know, okay, cool, we've made another low, we've made a higher low down here on the 4-hour time frame. This is where now on the 30-minute time frame, I want to see the same thing. Change of character, break of structure. Let's take a look real quick. Do we have any engulfing candles? Nothing on the daily, nothing on the 4. On the 1 hour, nothing on the 1 hour. So now on the 30-minute time frame, I want to see the change of character and I want to see the break of structure. Right? The break, we had lower low, lower high, lower low. We had a change of character, higher high, higher low. price gave us the higher high and went straight up, right? Never really gave us a retest, but did exactly what it needed to do, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, it gave us 2 days of rise. On the third day, which was on Thursday, gave us that third day push, and then Friday ended up continuing that trend. Now, this is where it gets a little mixy, right? Do we say that this is an internal higher high, higher low, higher high, or do we say that this is 30-minute structure as well, right? And because price, let's see, right? Because if that's the case, then we would have to say that this is also higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and I don't like that, right? I would really sit here and say that all of this is part of the same structure. Instead of saying that this is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, all of this is part of the same structure. It's all part of the same trend. We didn't really have any significant pullbacks going into GCAD. Let's take a look. Yeah, there was really no significant pullbacks here for us to be comfortable with saying that this is another push, or to say that this is a higher low set down here to continue. This would all just be internal time frame structure. We'll talk about more of this on Monday. We'll see what price does here. Right, give me a second. All those pullbacks are 23.6. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're all internal time frame, and it's really easy. Like even without using the fib, right? When you notice how big a pullback is on GCAD, right? We go from making, just look at the left hand side of the screen, right? This is why I keep all of this marked up. When you start looking at every single pullback that we have on GCAD, they're significant pullbacks that you could see that they're moving, right? Very big zones. Comparing it to what's been happening for the last week and a half, we went from making really big moves to just smaller time frame, right, internal moves here, right? So that's the only reason why. Like if we really start looking at it, you know, when we just zoom out just a little bit, we know that we're trading this low and this high, right? And then all of a sudden we started trading from these lows to these highs to, right, low, high, low, high, low, right? And now what are we seeing? Well, now we're seeing the lower time frames, right? We're just trading now high, low, high, low, high, low. It's very small. There's really no significant pullbacks here, right? So instead of saying that, it's really just, okay, we know that price, yes, even though we're trending back to the top side, what is price really doing? Right? It's really just lower low going into a lower high. Right? And this is why like GCAD for me is one of those pairs at the moment where again, why is price moving this way? On the daily time frame, sorry, I'm on the 4-hour. On the daily time frame, again, we can't say that we're in an uptrend. Why not? Because price never gave us that break above these highs. So technically speaking, what is price doing? Right? It's just really moving sideways where price rejected highs, rejected lows, rejected highs, and it came back down to the bottom. Right? So this is why GCAD for me on the watch list has been like kind of 50-50, which is again just the biggest reason why I'm not really confident in taking these trades just yet. Right? So we'll see what price does. Again, the EMAs, everything looks good on GCAD for right now. Right? It really does. But we'll see how the market opens. Again, I'm not really expecting price to continue. I want to see a pullback. Once we get that pullback, right, the internal structure would really tell us what it wants to do. Right? If price comes down to these lows down here, right, anywhere in this area, and it gives us an inducement of the low, and it does something like this, then we know we could take those trades back to the top side. But if price breaks these lows, then we know we have crystal clean traffic all the way back down to these lows, right? And once we reach these lows, which was the previous break of structure, this is where we'll do the same thing. Either price is going to break these lows, right? It's either going to give us the inducement of these lows, and this is where we'll start looking to take trades back up, or price is going to break to continue that push back down to the bottom. And again, that's okay, because again, overall, when we're looking at the structure of the moves, this is really just a lower low going into a lower high, just based on this entire move that happened in the last couple. This was in June, so in the last 2 months, right? This was price giving us the inducement of the high, right? It gave us a fake higher high, it gave us a fake break, went right back down and gave us a lower low, coming back up just for a lower high, right? So we just have to be patient with GCAD. This is where it gets a little bit more tech. Like a pair like GCAD, the way that it's moving, this is definitely a pair that's a little bit more technical than what really happens on the charts. So just gotta be patient with it. Kindly check gold for me. I got you. Gold is a pair that we have on our list, so we'll go in order. So we'll get to gold now. We're almost there. These last couple pairs should go by pretty quick, since I'm not really trading them, right? Specifically like GJ, we're just stuck in a zone of consolidation on an uptrend. We're still at the top of the zone of consolidation, so for GJ again, for me to start looking to take trades, I need to see a price break above the zone of consolidation. Right? It's very similar to the trends, right? If you're trading higher high, higher low, right? If price is trending higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, are you looking to get into a buy position at a higher high, or are you looking for price to give you a pullback to get in on the higher low, and this is where you get into continue? It's the same thing in a zone of consolidation. If you're in a zone of consolidation, price is moving sideways, are you looking to get into a buy position at the highs of the zone of consolidation or at the lows? Right? The only time you want to take a trade at the top of the zone of consolidation, the only time you want to take a buy position at the top of a zone of consolidation is if price gives you the break and the retest. That's when you want to start getting in to continue. Right? Vice versa for the shorts. Right? If you're trading lower low and lower high, if you're trading the trend lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, are you looking to get into a sell position at the bottom of the zone? Are you looking to get into a sell position at the lower low, or are you looking to get into that sell position at the lower high? It's the same thing when you're in a zone of consolidation. When price is moving sideways, are you looking to get into a sell position at the bottom of the zone of consolidation or at the top? The only time you want to take a trade at the bottom of the zone of consolidation when you're looking for shorts is if price gives you the break and the retest. That's when you want to start getting back into the trades to go back down. So it's the same thing that's going on with GJ. For me to feel comfortable taking a position on GJ in these areas, I need to see price give me a break of the top of the zone of consolidation to then continue the push back to the top side. Right, so right now, no continuations on the daily time frame. Again, the 4-hour time frame, we can see that price has just been moving sideways, rejecting these highs the entire time. Gave us a rejection of the high, gave us a zone of consolidation, gave us the break, gave us the retest, gave us another push down to the bottom into a lower low. Then this week gave us another push from a lower low going into a lower high, gave us another push to the top side. Then on the 30-minute time frame, we had the change of character, right? Higher high, higher low. We had another push, higher high, higher low, 3 days of rise. Then price gave us another push. Now this is another situation where, are we going to mark this up as higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, or is all of this part of the same structure? And again, these little pullbacks that we have here on GJ really could simply just be internal structure. We still have this 4-hour engulfing. Let's see, what do we do here? Right, because it gave us a clean break, gave us a push, right, gave us another day. I'm gonna mark this all as the same structure. And again, I'm not really too worried about marking up GJ, because again, we're at the top of the zone of consolidation. I'm not looking to take a trade up here anyway. So we'll let price do what it has to do, and then we'll act accordingly. Next pair, GU. GU and EU are the two pairs that look very identical, right? The only difference with GU and EU is that GU looks far better than EU, right? We had the break of the top of the zone consolidation, we had the retest, we had another higher high. After the higher high was set, price came down, and again, we're in level 2 on an uptrend. We know that we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA, and this is our first point of interest to continue that push to the top side. So the difference between GU and EU is that, remember, EU has not reached that 200 EMA. EU also has this 30-minute gap at the bottom of the chart, right? In comparison to GU, GU doesn't have any gaps, and GU already reached the 200 EMA. So could this be where price is giving us higher high, higher low? And again, this is exactly where price gave us the break of structure. Could this be the area where we're looking for the retest to continue? Absolutely. Right, so GU looks a little bit better. However, this is still a pair where could we go lower? Of course. We still have this daily engulfing candle at the bottom. This could simply just be price giving us inducements, right? And on the 4-hour time frame, the only biggest difference that we have is that price went from higher high, higher low, higher high, to then giving us a change of character back down to the lower low. Now, understanding that price gave us a lower low, could this push to the top side be a lower high to continue that downtrend push? 100%. So this is another pair. Again, we talked about this on Thursday. I believe it was on Thursday, where again, if one time frame, in this case the daily time frame, is showing you uptrends, and then you go down to the 4-hour time frame, and then the 4-hour time frame is giving you downtrend signals, what are you going to take? And again, this is where the difference comes between a very profitable trader to a trader who's still not really getting any payouts, which is market structure. Understanding high probability trades versus low probability trades. GU for me at this point, very similar to EU, all these trades to the top side is still low probability because we have started that downtrend push on the 4-hour time frame. Now, if the daily time frame was uptrending and the 4-hour time frame is uptrending and the 30-minute time frame is uptrending, what do we think is going to happen? Price is going to start downtrending? No. Right? If every single time frame is telling you that price is up, then you should start looking for those trades going back to the top side. But if the daily time frame is downtrending and the 4-hour is uptrending, what are you going to do? Right? You get trapped in a position, and that's where the accumulation starts to happen in the charts. Right? Market makers are just going to induce you. They're going to induce you to just get into whatever position you think you see. So this is the biggest reason why right now for GU, not really looking to take any trades. Every single time frame is telling me something completely different. Right, on the 30-minute, we had the change of character, higher high, higher low. It gave us a break of structure, higher high. And again, we could see that we don't have any significant pullbacks here. Price just went straight to the top side. Right, we know that we're trading between this higher low down here and these higher highs up here. So we just want to be patient with GU. Once again, this is not a pair that I'll be really trading just yet. We're 5 pips away, so I'm not even going to mark this just yet. This could finish on a no net. And again, it's exactly what we want to see. After 3 days of rise, we know the market's either going to move sideways or go down. And we move sideways the entire day. So you want to be very patient with GU. Pullback lower high, no daily break, daily inducement of the high. Yeah, exactly. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. NZD USD, we are in A2, the second zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We know that we're at least expecting price to reach our previous peak low down here. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We already know this is very low probability area to take a trade in, especially going short. On the lower time frame, we have a smaller zone of consolidation on the 4-hour, where price is rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, right? It's just moving sideways the entire time here. We had a week of drop last week. This week, price ended up giving us a week of rise, so we have no continuations on the 4-hour time frame. Price gave us a lower low change of character, so we're trading between this 4-hour low and this 4-hour high. And then on the 30-minute, we also know that we're in a smaller zone of consolidation, where price gave us a change of character back to the top side, higher high. Price gave us an inducement of the high, right? And after the inducement, again, we could see that price is just moving sideways. So we'll see what price wants to do here. If it continues to give us the zone of consolidation and ends up breaking these lows, then we know we'll start looking to take those trades back down to the bottom. But if price gives us another inducement of the low, starts trending to the top side, and if it decides to give us a break and a retest, then we know we'll continue that push back to the top side. So just have to be patient. Again, in my opinion, I think zones of consolidations are the easiest to trade, right? Because if you got a break of the highs, you know you're going long. If you get a break of the lows, after an inducement of the high, you know price is going to go back down to the bottom. So just have to be patient, and then we'll go on from there once the market's open and really shows us what it wants to do. US30 is another one, another pair that I'm really not trading just yet. Gave us a nice little retest of that 1-hour engulfing candle, or the 4-hour engulfing candle that we had. But again, we already understood that this is a low probability area to look for a trade. For US30, across the board for all the indexes is pretty much the same. If you're looking at NQ, if you're looking at NAS, if you're looking at S&P, they're pretty much doing the same thing, right? We're in peak high territory. Again, in peak high territory, I tend to just stay away from the charts unless there's something that's crystal clear. But right now for US30, there's really nothing that's crystal clear, right? We have inducement to the highs, but then structure looks down, we have the inducement to the highs. Then at the same time, lower time frames are telling us that price wants to continue the push to the top side, while the higher time frames are telling us, well, no, we have the inducement, we're going to go back down, right? So just have to be patient. Once again, if every single time frame is telling me something completely different, then there's nothing to trade. There's absolutely nothing to trade. There's something wrong here. I'm missing a line. Sunday. There you go. So no continuations just yet. And then on the 30-minute time frame, price is still trending down. Lower low, lower high, lower low. So we want to be very careful with these trades. And we can see how the market makers are just trapping traders, right? If you're just a breakout trader, not understanding that you just made a lower low, and you're like, oh, we had a break of the high, we're going to continue the push to the top side. Price went straight to your stop loss, right? Again, understanding that we're trading in an area where the markets are just trapping traders, even though price gave us another break of the lows down here, this entry is very low probability, because every single time frame is telling you something completely different. So US30, I'll just be patient. I'm not going to be trading US30. USDCAD is another one that I'm not really going to be trading either just yet. We had a nice little day of rise, and the reason I'm not trading USDCAD, just we could talk about that, right? We had the 3 pushes to the top side, right? Push 1, push 2, push 3, reached the previous peak high. Perfect. After price reached the previous peak high, what did we start doing? Started moving sideways, gave us the first push to the bottom, and now we're in a zone of consolidation. So the only way I'll take a trade on USDCAD is as soon as the structure starts clearing up. If this is already the first push to the bottom and we started that downtrend, the overall downtrend, right, which means that we have level 1, and this is going to be the first zone of consolidation. Once price gives us a break of these lows and continues that downtrend push, then we'll turn around and say, you know what, USDCAD has started that downtrend push. We're going to start looking for shorts on USDCAD. But right now, we don't really have anything, right? On the daily time frame, we're still uptrending, right? Meaning when we're looking at market structure, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Could this be a higher low? Absolutely. Once we go down to the 4-hour time frame, what is price doing? We're downtrending, right? We had higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, back down to the lower low. All right, let's turn these session breaks so it's a little bit easier on the eyes, right? Internal of the 4-hour, price gave us a little inducement of the high up here on the 800 EMA, right? Which again tells us that price is still on a downtrend. Now, if price comes back up and gives us a valid break of these highs, and again, what is price doing here? Just trapping traders, inducing traders, moving sideways, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, going back to the highs, rejecting lows, going back to the highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs again. We're just in a zone of consolidation this entire time. So we want to be very patient. Again, this is the common theme for a lot of pairs right now in the market. And this is why you see a lot of traders online like, oh, these are the hardest times to trade, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's not difficult if you know the rules. And then on the 30-minute time frame, another reason why I'm looking for those breaks on the 4-hour is because on the 30-minute we had lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us a change of character back to the top side, higher high. So again, if price gives us a break of the 4-hour high, if price gives us a break of the 30-minute high, then we know we're going to continue that uptrend push. So I'm just going to be patient with USDCAD. Just going to be patient. USDZAR very similar to USDCAD. Again, just trapping traders. We're in a zone of consolidation. We had 2 days of drop counter. On the 3rd day, gave us a low, but we finished. Oh wow, that's a huge wick at the end of the market. At the end of the day, gonna be patient with this one. We'll finish this on a day of rise, but we'll update this if need be when the market's open. See if there's any continuations on the 4-hour. We had a week of drop, no continuations. And again, daily time frame, technically speaking, still on an uptrend, right? We have push 1, push 2, second zone of consolidation. We are looking for a push number 3 back to the top side. So, gonna be patient with USDZAR. As soon as we start uptrending, we'll start looking to take those trades. Once we get the change of character, break of structure back to the top side, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades. For gold is another pair that I'm not trading. Why? What is price doing? Well, first and foremost, we're at the highest point in this market. We're at the highest price. We're at a higher high. At the higher high, what did price start doing? Moving sideways. Rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, going back down to the bottom, going back up to the highs, rejecting highs, going back down to the bottom. And it looks like price wants to continue that push back to the top side. Right? So again, sideways movement, zones of consolidation, price not really telling us where it wants to go. Stay away from the chart. There's really nothing to trade. All right, we have 2 weeks of rise. You can see that we've pretty much finished at those highs. And then on the 30-minute time frame, what is price doing? Right? A whole lot of nothing. We still have these gaps at the bottom of the market. For the last 2 days, at the end of Thursday going into Friday, what did price do? Just move sideways. Trapping traders the entire time. As you can see, I have this marked up. I was like, oh, maybe gold will give us something. But no. Just trapping traders the entire time. It doesn't matter what time frame you're on. If you took a trade on Friday trading gold, not understanding that price is in a zone of consolidation, good luck to you. There's a lot of people. Again, if you open up X right now, if you open up Instagram, how many people took trades on gold on Friday? Straight to stop loss. It doesn't matter what direction you were going. If you were trading Asia session thinking that this was going to continue to push down to the bottom, boom, straight to stop loss. If you were trading this at the end of Asia going into London thinking that price was going to continue to push to the top side and you thought that this was going to be the manipulation because you saw price giving you higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? And you thought price was just going to continue, boom, what happened? Straight to stop loss. Same thing at the end of London going into NYC. It doesn't matter what you thought was going to happen. Price went up, price went down, price went up, price went down, hitting everybody's stop loss. every fucking time. So again, gold for me, I'm not trading it. There's really nothing right here for gold. Prices is in a huge zone of consolidation. As soon as price reaches these highs, the same thing that it did the last 4 months, if it gives us another high and it gives us another inducement, we know we're going to go right back down to the bottom. If price gives us a break of the highs, then we know price is going to continue to push to the top side. That's really all that there is to it. So we'll just have to be patient, wait for price to reach these zones. Once price reaches these zones, then I'll start taking those trades. But for right now, there's nothing on gold for me. Even when we're looking at 30-minute structure, there's a whole bunch of people thinking that this is all 30-minute structure. Oh, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high. But this is not 30-minute structure. Everything that's happening, and again, everything is color coordinated. My 30-minute highs are red, 30-minute lows are red. Everything that's moving, everything that's happening, right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price came up and gave us another little change of character, higher high. Price has not broken these highs, and price has not even tested these lows. We're still trading between a very big 30-minute high and 30-minute low. Everything that's happening inside of the 30-minute high and 30-minute low is internal structures, 5-minute structure or 1-minute structure. So everybody who's trading this on the 1 hour, and the reason why a lot of people are having a tough time trading gold is because they believe that they're trading inside 30-minute structure in here. And this is not 30-minute structure. This is 5-minute structure. 5-minute or 1-minute structure. So gold is a pair that I'm not really trading. Bitcoin is another one that I'm not trading for the same reason. When we go up higher time frames, we know that we're still on an overall uptrend. However, we're in a zone of consolidation. Right? We're in a zone of consolidation. We're still making higher highs and higher lows. And again, everybody who's getting faked out thinking that, oh, zone of consolidation, break of the low, we're going to get a retest and continue back down to the bottom. Again, understanding that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Why would I take a sell position when price is still uptrending? This doesn't make any sense, right? So gonna be patient with with Bitcoin. There's another pair that I'm not really trading, like I said, and then we'll just keep it updated for now. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and delete some of these drawings too. It's a lot on the screen. Then the 30-minute time frame, lower low, lower high, lower low. We had 2 days of rise. On the third day, price gave us a third day push to the top side. We finished as a rise drop. After a rise drop, you know that we're expecting a 4th day push to the top side, which was today on Saturday. Price gave us that 4th day push to the top side. So we'll continue to monitor Bitcoin. Then last but not least, US oil. Again, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Oil, we know that we're in an overall downtrend, right? We had push number 1, first zone of consolidation. Then we have the break of structure that gave us the lower low. Price came up, gave us a lower high. We could be expecting price to continue and give us another lower low down to the bottom. What I'm looking for on US oil is for price to give us a break of the zone of consolidation that's on the 4-hour time frame. Has price given us a clean break of structure? Technically speaking, yes. But again, this break happened with no bottom wick on this candle. So not a strong break, but it gave us the break, gave us a retest, went right back down to the bottom. So oil is moving exactly how it needs to move, man. I love trading oil. It's a clean pair. Only thing bad with oil is that sometimes it moves as soon as the market opens and doesn't really give me enough time to enter a trade, but that's okay, right? Then on the 30-minute time frame, price giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? And this is where, again, I'm not really gonna say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low. I'm gonna keep this marked up. I'm gonna keep it like this for now. Alright, let me go ahead and delete some drawings. This is a lot on my screen. right? For right now, I'm gonna keep it like this, and then at the start of next week, I'll update this for oil. We had a nice little 30-minute engulfing candle retest. We're in draw. Would have been in drawdown for a little bit. We're at 32 pip drawdown. We're right back down. But this is a pair that on Friday was just moving crazy, just trapping traders as well the entire time. So that's pretty much it, guys. Any other questions? Anything else? Any other pair you want me to go over real quick? Anything you want me to explain again? Anything that wasn't making sense that you want me to talk about? Let me know. If not, then that's pretty much it for the weekly market breakdown, guys. We'll be done for today. We'll be back Monday morning for the live trading session here on YouTube, 7 a.m. Tesla and Apple. Forgot we're doing those as well. Man, I just hate going over these charts, man, because I know it's nothing clean. Like, what do you want me to talk about, bro? Tesla, we are still, right, pretty much on an uptrend, right? Gave us a daily change of character back to the top side, went down, gave us a higher low. On the push to the higher high, gave us a zone of consolidation, right? From the bottom, rejecting the bottoms, rejecting the highs, rejecting the bottom, rejecting the highs, rejecting the bottoms, came back to the top side. So we're in an area now where we know we had that gap at the top of the market where price has rejected before. As soon as it filled that gap up, gave us an exhaustion candle. So at this point, very similar. Again, everything moves the same exact way. So on the 5-minute time frame, right? Since we know the 30-minute, we could just see where price is going. But really, when you're looking at options and the charts, you really want to keep it really updated on the 5 and the 15-minute. Price ended up giving us, this is the 9:30 candle, right? Gave us another day of no net for today, well, for Friday or whatever, Thursday. Giving us another no net day. We filled this gap up already. Right, we've reached the previous highs that price had rejected before. So at this point, what I want to see now on the 5-minute time frame, right? 5-minute and the 1-minute, right? The 5-minute, we know we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us a change of character. Right, so we could change this to 5-minute change of character. Right, so we know that we're trading between these lows down here and these highs. On the 1-minute time frame, if we start seeing change of character, break of structure back down to the bottom side, we know we could take those trades back down to the bottom. Let's take a look. Is there any engulfing candles? Forgot to look at that. Nothing on the 30, nothing on the 15, nothing on the 5-minute, right? And then on the 1-minute time frame, we know that we were trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave you a little inducement, lower low. Then price gave you higher high, right? Gave you higher high, higher low, higher high, and then it gave us a break of the bottom, which is a change of character, which happens here, right? And then we could see price giving us lower low, lower high. It did not give us a valid break, gave us the inducement, right? And this is where price started turning around again, started giving us another higher high and gave us another change of character. So look, 1-minute change of character, change this to red. Then we had, right, a failed break, never gave us a valid break. Then price came back up, right, gave us a change of character, right? But I'm not really going to say that this is higher high, higher low, higher high. No, I'm just going to say all of this is part of the same structure because regardless is really the same thing, right? Gave us another change of character back up to the top side. Right, and then we know price gave us these lows down here, and price gave us another change of character back down to the bottom side. So we know that we're trading between this high and these lows. Do we have any engulfing candles on the 1 hour, on the 1-minute? No. Right, so oh, and we do have a 1-minute gap as well here. So we want to be careful. We want to be careful with this pair. So let's turn this one off already since this one was already used. Add another one here. We have a 1 minute gap here. So gonna be careful with Tesla, right? Want to see a valid break. If we don't get that valid break, we know price is gonna adjust, come back to the top of the zone of consolidation. And then Apple, again, Apple is one that on the daily time frame we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. On the 4-hour time frame, turn the session breaks off real quick. All right, on the 4-hour time frame we had higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price gave us a lower low change of character. On the push from the lower low to a lower high, it gave us a zone of consolidation where price was rejecting highs and lows the entire time until the end of the week where it gave us a break to the top side. And we know that on the push to the break of the top side, price had given us those zones or those gaps in the market. Right, and then again, same thing. You want to look at the internal structure when it comes to trading option charts, since these moves happen really quick. Right, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us a 5-minute change of character. And again, all of this really would be 1 minute structure, but we could still see price giving us higher high, higher low, and then gave us another higher high back to the top side. And we had a day of Nona and then gave us a day of Rise on Friday. So right now these are also two pairs that I'm not really too interested in, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what price wants to do. Any other questions, guys? Any other pairs? Anything else at all, let me know. If not, that's it for today, and we'll be back on Monday for the live trading session. Again, I posted the link for our Discord server. Everything is completely free in the YouTube chat. If you guys are interested, want to join, you guys will be the first ones to know when we're going live. Everything, all the announcements happen on the Discord, so make sure you guys join the Discord. Gonna give you guys another minute, or I'll give you 2 minutes. At 12:25 we'll be out of here. Any questions? Any other pairs you want me to look at? Any entries you guys took that you want me to break down and talk about? Again, whether they're winners or losers, let me know. The losing trades are the best ones to go over, man. Again, there's no such thing as a losing trade in the market. They're always lessons. Now, if you continue to make the same mistakes and you don't learn from the lessons that you take, then that's a different conversation. You're definitely taking losses. So, again, I'll give you guys another minute. Any questions? Once again, any other pairs you want me to go over? Any charts you want me to go over that you took? Any trades that you guys took that you want me to go over? Let me know. If not, 12:25 we'll be out of here, and we'll be back again on Monday. No other questions in the chat. 30 seconds. Let me know. Oh, let me check Discord. Anything in the Discord from anybody? No. Okay. Alright, guys. Seems like you guys are chilling. Alright, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. We'll be back again on Monday. Talk to you guys then. Peace out.